It's the Guitar Dads. It's the Guitar Dads.
Welcome to the Guitar Dads Podcast, a podcast for guitar people by guitar dads. This week, every breath you take is every dollar you make. This award show is still a thing. A fake plastic tour is coming. And move over, boss. It's Tony Danza in town. We bug out on the Plugout, but is it positive? This week on the Guitar Dads Podcast. And now, the dudes who are consistently negative.
Hello, everybody. I'm Matt.
I'm Dave. Welcome in. What's up, man?
Are we consistently negative? I mean, sometimes
we're gonna have
we
to
are.
be now. We gotta.
Sometimes we
have-
are.
Listen, we have a low bar on this show, and it's we need to keep it consistent. So
All right.
Anyway.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for checking us out. Listen, if we know there's a lot of people that listen to us every single week. We love you guys. We appreciate it, and we know there are people that check us out. That are new here. So thanks for finding us. We appreciate you. So make sure that you subscribe, you follow, you like, you leave a review, all of that stuff. I will not stop saying it. Does help us out, helps us land in other people's, onto their other, whatever platform they're using to listen. And where you can find us on the socials at Guitar Dads Podcast on Instagram and Threads and X and over on YouTube. And of course, if you want to support the show, we would greatly appreciate it. We know we have a bunch of patrons listening right now. If you want to join Patreon, go to patreon.com/Guitar Dads Podcast for a small fee. You get an extra episode and an extra bonus code to Copper Sound. We got a new code this month, so listen over on Patreon if you want that extra code. All right. Enough of the housekeeping.
I love it.
Trying to shorten it up.
Nice housekeeping, man.
You got to do it, but it just goes on.
Well,
anyway.
the people need to know this, right?
I know. But most people are listening every single week, don't they?
They already know this. They already know.
Sorry, guys, you had to listen to just listen. Just fast forward through it next time. Maybe we'll.
But
do
you're all not
timestamps.
all of you listening are not Patreon subscribers.
That's right.
So there's that. We're going to keep reminding you that it's out there
please.
if you want. If it's cool if you don't want to, we understand.
It is cool. We get it.
We get it.
But it will.
Why we continue to do the main episode.
Yeah, and it keeps help. It does help the show go. So if you want to support the show, yeah, it does. All right, man. Should we get into it?
Yeah, some news.
What are we talking about? Let's get into the Dataverse.
Yeah, get into the Dataverse. All right, what do we got here? Sting.
So yeah, saying this is so. Truth be told, we did not put out an episode last week, as you guys know, and so we're a little behind on some of these things.
Busy.
But we're busy. Labor Day in the U.S.
Dad life is catching up to us.
Yep.
That's what it is, guys.
So some of this stuff is a little bit old, and so we apologize for that.
But we didn't talk about it yet, so
we didn't talk about it. So we're going to hit it.
Yeah.
The police, so Stuart Copeland and Andy Summers are suing Sting,
right,
for lost royalties on Every Breath You Take. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about this, and it's really interesting. This is what I thought was this was shocking to me. Well, maybe not shocking, but the Daily Mail
it is kind of shocking.
Did you see this? The Daily Mail reported that he makes between £550,000, which is about $740,000 every year from Every Breath You Take royalties. That's
the one song.
Just the one song. I mean, that's really unbelievable.
Insane.
I mean, this was a song that was released in '83. We're talking over 40 years ago.
Yep. It's crazy.
This is
700.
Wild.
So each year, 740. I'm going to do the quick dad math. You do not want Guitar Dad's math. What is that? How many years has it been since '83? 42 years.
Yeah, but he made
right?
even more than that, probably
Right.
the 20, 30 years,
Oh yeah, I'm just doing a quick
after the song.
calculation because I'm kind of curious how that math works out. Times, let's see. Oh, we're talking just on one song alone, and obviously one song alone, and obviously this is just a very rudimentary number here, an estimate. $31.8 million
Yeah,
just
and
on
you're not
one
even
song alone.
factoring in like inflation and that kind of stuff. So,
Correct. No, no, I'm not.
um, anyway, so it's interesting. So, yeah, I mean, they're basically saying like, look, like we should have got songwriting credit for that, but why are they doing this now? Like, what? That's what I didn't get from the
Yeah.
article.
It,
So,
it didn't say, and it doesn't make any sense because well, I mean, if there has been drama in that band, it's been a well kept secret because um this kind of came out of nowhere. I was a little
yeah,
shocked by this,
like all of a sudden, 40 years later, these guys are like, you owe us millions of dollars in royalties. Like, I'm sure this has been going on for forever, right?
Yeah, but
And
they
now
haven't
they've decided,
received
yeah,
co-writing. They never received co-writing credits on this song. I'm
apparently
surprised
not. If
by
they're
that
saying
too. But
they're owed millions and millions of dollars, if
yeah,
they really, and they probably are right if they actually can prove that they co-wrote the song. I mean, how do you actually prove that? I mean, that's a tough one,
I
right?
don't know.
This is a tough
Did
one.
Did you see
So
did you see Sting and the other Boss? We talk about Boss later tonight, but
yeah,
Springsteen
we
at
can
the
go.
U.S. Open this week.
No, there was a lot of very exciting and famous people at the U.S. Open, including
Oh yeah, there
Rory
always are.
McIlroy.
Yes, that's right. Did he win the Irish Open?
He did. He won the Irish Open this
He
weekend.
did win. Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
All right,
Golf Dads
that's our
podcast.
only
Go, guys.
golf topic of the night. Okay, we're
Golf
moving on.
Dad, Golf Dads.
Golf dads.
You can search for that podcast.
Yeah, it doesn't exist, but you can
You
keep
can
searching
search
for it.
for it. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
we're actually when we talk about the boss thing, I am going to bring up a golf analog. So we'll talk a little more
of
about
course
golf
you
there.
are. Of
So
course. Do
anyway,
you know? Well, you know, but do our listeners know how much golf content has been like embedded in our socials feeds because of you?
yeah, I'm sure it's a ton. Well, you send me stuff too, though, so
Stop
it's like
liking this
everywhere.
stuff.
Well,
Leave it to
I don't.
yourself.
So this is what's interesting about Instagram. So those to let you guys behind the curtain, I'm rarely on our Instagram account. Dave is our social
Never.
media manager. Usually, if you're getting a message from us on Instagram, it's usually from Dave. So I'm never on that account. So the fact that you're seeing like golf stuff on that account makes no sense to me. So,
What do you mean it doesn't make any sense to me? So a
but
couple
if I'm
years
never
ago, it
on the
used to be
account,
like
why would it get in the algorithm if I'm not viewing
I,
content on that? The only thing
well,
is it
there's other
knows that I'm
ways.
connected, that my other account is connected to that, which of course is full
Yes,
of golf
that's
content.
right.
So that's the reason, which
It
is like it's just so wild how it works that way.
it used to be like low, like you'd be scrolling through, you get like guitar, like girl in bikini, guitar, girl in bikini, and now
That's
it's
like a target. Look, it
guitar,
follows my
somebody
interest
taking a
as we
shot.
go.
Yeah,
As we go. Anyway, all right.
some kind
We'll
of
see
golf
what
tip.
happens with this Sting stuff. It just seems like Sting never, ever since they broke up, it's been bad blood with the other guys, and it's just terrible. They did have that brief reunion, but it didn't go well. So, like, I don't know, like
It didn't. I don't even remember that. I remember the
it
reunion,
didn't.
but
It
I don't
definitely didn't
remember it
go
not
well.
going well.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
didn't go well. Um, so, these guys just can't seem to get to get along. So it is what it is. So anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And what else happened? The VMAs happened
Yeah,
this
I
week,
saw this
Sunday night,
last night. Last
last
night. If
night
you're
as we're
listening to this on
recording this.
release day, yeah,
Yeah,
2 days ago. If you're
2 days
listening on
ago.
release
Yeah.
day, and my first reaction was the VMAs still exist. I mean, am I
Well,
that out of touch?
yeah, you are that out of touch. But here's the thing: they weren't even on MTV. They were
They
on
weren't.
no, they were on CBS.
What
Yeah. So it's not even on MTV. I'm sure they'll like rerun it on MTV. I don't even know that it was live on MTV.
is it still like an MTV like sanctioned kind of thing, or what is it?
Yes,
Okay, but it was on CBS.
it was on CBS.
Interesting. Wow. So this thing still
Oh, it
has
was
that
streamed
kind
live.
of
It was on MTV and CBS at the same time. So I was wrong about that.
So,
But
dude, this thing still has legs that it can be on a major network like that. Wow, I'm kind of
so
shocked by
yeah,
this.
so it still does. And
Where are the video? Who's watching videos? Is this all YouTube stuff? That's got to
yeah,
be
it's you.
right.
Well, yeah, it's YouTube,
I
and
mean, I
if you
don't
go on
watch videos
YouTube,
anymore.
if you go on YouTube, a gazillion people are watching
I know.
videos on YouTube. So you could argue like even more people are watching videos now than they did in the past.
I know. I say
Especially
that
for the
half
big
kidding because I
artists.
know this, but
Yeah.
it just, you can't help but reflect on your childhood and like all
Oh,
you
of
watched
course.
was like MTV and VH1, and that was
But
it.
but Dave, I'm surprised you didn't watch it because
Steve, you're talking about Steven Tyler and Young
Steven
Blood and
Tyler
Joe
and Joe
Perry.
Perry. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Young Blood.
doing the tribute
So I don't know
Ozzy.
who this effing Young Blood guy is.
Dude, he's awesome.
I don't know who he is, but I saw him on the Back to the Beginning thing, and I was absolutely blown away how good he
He's
was.
awesome. He's
He's
so good.
incredible. He's I should take some time to listen to his original stuff, but I heard it isn't very good, so I didn't like take the time to listen to it. But
No, but
he's a
he,
hell
yeah,
of a performer. He's
he's a
really
hell of
good.
a performer. He's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if you're gonna like his original stuff,
Yeah, I heard
but
it's not
he's.
very good, not my style. Well, that's what my
It's not your style. It's not your
full,
style.
full disclosure, that's what my daughter told me.
Oh, well,
So
maybe you should give it a chance.
maybe I'll give it a chance because I was really
Don't.
impressed with his Aussie stuff. Really
Yeah,
impressed.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what he did last night. And of course he had Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. So I mean that's awesome. You gotta admit, Dave, that's awesome. So the fact that the VMAs did that when it's mainly been a pop thing is pretty
Yep.
cool. And I also thought it was cool that it was Lady Gaga and I think Ariana Grande that won like the biggest things. And Mariah Carey won like a video Vanguard award or something. So there you go. Like it's interesting. It seems like I think they were maybe catering to like an older audience. I don't know. To some extent, they were right. So
It sounds like,
if
well, I
Lady
mean,
Gaga gets iconic artist of the year, like Lady Gaga, she hasn't really been around the way that other artists have. Like
no,
in the
she's been a
last
little
year or
quiet
so.
compared to others.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's kind of interesting that Lady Gaga had won. But anyway,
yeah. Kind of, it is kind of nuts.
yeah.
I finally hit that point. You told me it was going to happen. We're in the car. And we're on our way to where, of course,
YouTube.
where am I going these days? Some soccer game
Soccer
somewhere.
game.
Or
Dave's
for
like
those of you,
Dave's like the epitome of soccer dad.
yeah, I really am. My apologies to those of you listening to us on the other side of the pond. Football.
Football. Right?
Yeah. So, and I like to play music to kind of pump my daughter up. Well, now it's like headphones in the backseat.
Did you put
and
on Crazy Train?
She's got on whatever music she's listening to. I go, what do you want to listen to? And I put something on. She goes, I got my headphones on. I'm good.
Yeah.
Wow. What are you listening to? And of course, it's something poppy. And
Well,
it's
your
over.
daughter's
She
almost
used
a
to
teenager.
she used to dig the rock, and now she still likes it. She'll still listen to it, but it no longer is our routine to pump up on the way to a game.
Yep.
Sadly
Get
enough.
ready for it. Get ready
Yep.
for that. Get ready for that.
But it made me realize, like, the VMAs, if those are still relevant and they're honoring older artists,
I don't know if
there
they
is,
were relevant.
well, I mean, they're on CBS,
If they are
dude.
still relevant, is what I'm. I
Dude,
guess you're right.
CBS is not putting this show on if it's not going to get
If no one's watching it,
eyes.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't know.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, it is the VMAs are an iconic thing, right? They
Yeah.
really are. So, and then
Which is
Sabrina
crazy.
Carpenter won something. Sabrina Carpenter's awesome, by the way. If you
I
don't know,
haven't
do you
given
know,
it a
you know,
chance.
do you know Sabrina Carpenter? I bet your daughter listens to her.
I'm sure she does. I've never listened to
You
her
probably
music.
don't want to know that she listens to her because she does some dirty stuff. But that's how it is.
Yeah. We still got
But
the
who
filters
doesn't?
on now, dude.
Who doesn't do that?
Everybody does. Everybody.
Right.
all right.
Ariana Grande won Video of the Year, so there's that. Who else won? I'm just going to name some things. Sabrina
I don't know.
Carpenter, Kendrick
Look at the
Lamar,
list.
of course.
Okay.
The Weeknd, and then Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. Yeah, pretty cool. Lenny Kravitz was there. He presented the award to Gaga. Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, that's awesome.
Lenny
Dude,
Kravitz is
Can
just
we talk about
incredible.
Lenny?
Can we just talk? We like occasionally bring him up. It's funny that like he popped up here because I recently went on like a Lenny Kravitz listening binge, and then started playing some of his solos this weekend. I mean, he's incredible, and he's got some incredible songs. So I don't know.
And
He's just like the coolest guy in the world too.
he is. Does he epitomize the term rock star? He does to me.
Oh,
Like
totally. Like the style, the vibe. I mean, the
yeah,
guy's like 60 years old. How old is he?
dude. And listen, I say this with all respect, and so I am very comfortable in my manhood saying this, but dude looks fucking ripped. I
He's
mean,
61 years old.
61 years old, and he looks like he's in his like 30s.
He
Like
looks like he's like 30 years old. His body
yeah,
is just chiseled. The guy's
it's
unbelievable.
really amazing.
I no, it
Like
really is. The guy is just unbelievable. Um, so I mean, I can't believe the guy's 61 years old. I mean, he's unbelievable. I'd love to see him again. I've seen him a couple times. I'd love to see him again.
yeah, he's
His
incredible.
lead guitar guy, Craig Ross,
Oh, Craig,
just tasty guitar
dude is
playing.
incredible. Oh
Oh
yeah,
man.
incredible.
Anyway, it's awesome. I love it. I love it all. So anyway.
Well, speaking of tasty things, if you're a fan, and a lot of people that listen to this show are, Radiohead just announced their first tour in 7 years.
I
They
know
got
this is a
20
big deal. Yeah.
European dates.
Yeah.
There is no new album on the horizon, but you know how Radiohead rolls. They always hold these things very close to the vest. But they are releasing a bunch of live stuff on a record that spans 2003 to 2009. So that's going to kind
Oh,
of go
cool.
along with the tour. So I'm
Uh,
sure Radiohead fans will be psyched about that.
are
Now
you
you
a,
saw them
are you? I saw them at the Karma Police. I've seen a couple.
years ago, yeah.
I saw them a couple of times when they did the Karma Police when it was the OK Computer.
Yes.
I saw them a couple of times in that kind of era of OK Computer. OK Computer continues to be like one of my favorite albums of all time, along with the
Oh,
band.
is it?
Along
I
with
was
the
going to say
band.
not the band. So
Yeah.
rate the two. Would you put is that
I
one
put
A,
the
one
Benz
B, or do you?
first. Yeah, I put one
Okay.
A as the Benz, and I mean the Benz is probably in like my top like 10 albums of all time, for sure.
Really?
But you know, OK Computer is high up there as well. But like, I'm one of these Radiohead fans that love that era and doesn't love this latest era from like, you know, that mid 2000s and on. I just didn't connect with that Kid A and on, right? I mean, I know. Look, a lot of people are going to say like, "Oh, you know, you're not really a Radiohead fan." Fine, then maybe I'm not, but I really love that earlier stuff. I just loved it. I didn't
Oh,
love the change to that kind of more wild stuff of the Kid A era and on.
yeah.
Really
There's
not a
that.
big fan of that.
It's very like spacey and kind of
Right.
like eccentric, and yeah, it's
Super
still kind of cool
eccentric.
to
It,
watch.
it is kind of cool. Like I've seen, like, what I've seen them. I've seen like live clips and stuff, and it is kind of engaging to watch them actually perform it. But to just like listen to it, like, sorry, it loses me quickly. I can't get into it. So
I'm gonna look this up because I watched an Austin City Limits. I must have been on a
with them,
plane, probably coming home from Hawaii, maybe a couple of years ago, because it was long enough to watch like at least like the
yeah. Were you on a
Radiohead,
private
Austin.
jet or something? Like, what's
No,
going
no,
on?
no.
You and John Mayer with the
City.
dumble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had
Dave's
my
like, "Hey,
crate.
John, put down the dumble. Watch this Radiohead.
Okay,
Austin City Limits, John."
so this was in if this is the same show because they did this 2016 was the last time. It was this no when did they last perform? Um,
I don't know.
performance dates. We're gonna look this up live.
Look it up.
Performance dates.
We'll do it live.
Um, let's see. When were they on this? This couldn't have been from 2012, but that says the last time they performed on.
Really?
Anyway, either way, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it probably was
It was
2012 Austin City Limits.
but it was yeah, this is it. This is well at least this is the one that I saw. It was
Yeah.
2012. This thing was kind of, and I agree with you. I love the Benz. I love OK Computer, but beyond that, I kind of they didn't lose me, but it's just not my thing as much.
I mean,
But
those were
I
like big
couldn't.
deal albums for me. Like, it wasn't just like I
Well,
liked them,
yeah,
like I loved them.
yeah, they were great.
I mean,
They are
I
great.
really did, still do. Yeah. So, but you're
But
right. You're
this
right.
this was infectious. I couldn't stop watching this. I was just really enjoying it for some reason. I was kind of surprised because
To watch
it
Ed
isn't really
O'Brien
my
do his
thing.
thing, yeah,
Yeah.
to watch Ed O'Brien do his thing with all the effects, and it's really cool. I think Ed O'Brien was on that pedal show, and definitely worth a watch. Really
Oh yeah.
cool. So
Yeah. I got to check that one
yeah,
out. I have not
definitely.
watched that.
I watched most of it. It's crazy. It's cool. Yeah, I definitely check it out.
Well, Matt, did you know? And you can tell me if you didn't, and I won't be upset. But did you know that this episode of the Guitar Dads podcast is sponsored by Copper Sound
I
Pedals?
did. I did know
Did you? You
this.
did?
I
You didn't
actually
tell me
knew.
that.
I actually
Okay.
knew.
Can you stop keeping secrets from me now?
So,
All
so, so what are we doing with it? What's Copper
right.
Sound up to?
I mean, you guys know Copper Sound. They are a pedal company right here in the state of Massachusetts, boutique as it gets. And tonight or today, whenever the heck you're listening to this, we are going to tell you about the Telegraph V2. If even if you don't know Copper Sound, you know that you've seen this Telegraph pedal. You've seen the Telegraph stutter in stores or online. It's a kill switch pedal that features a Morse code style key. On the face, the thing just looks super cool.
It
And it
is
features
super cool.
it is super cool. It's not super cool. It's Copper
It's not.
Sound.
It's Copper Sound, not super cool pedals. Shout out to super cool pedals,
Shout out to Jamie and the gang. It's super cool.
though.
So this thing features a proprietary all-metal telegraph key. It's sturdy, stylish. The upgrade now allows the player to control the effect with their feet. In addition to the classic kill and activate modes, the Telegraph V2's most popular feature is the brand new Burst Mode. Burst Mode is an automatic tremolo-like stutter, adjustable from 110 BPM to around 1,000 BPM through the burst knob. You cannot do that with your foot, but this thing can. Comes
That's
in
cool.
6 standard finishes, and we want to highlight the
The
what was it
latest
called?
colorway.
Summer Punch Pink. Was that the one?
Yeah,
Look
summer.
this
I think
back
that's
up.
what he's calling it. Yeah,
Summer Punch Pink.
that's what he's
It's
calling it.
very cool looking. So go check it out. You are gonna love anything that Alex puts out. Go to coppersoundpedals.com and check out the array. And if you want 10% off, type in the code DADS10 at checkout.
Yeah, I would definitely go and do that and get one of these telegraphs.
Yeah.
Very
It's super
cool.
cool.
Very cool. Very cool. All right.
All right.
What are we
Moving
on?
Les asks, what is the difference between swine flu and bird flu? Thanks, Russ. You can submit a joke to the show if you go into our
Getting some emails, so we appreciate the emails, guys.
at Guitar Dad's podcast there. All right.
Yeah.
We are gonna move on to what else we got going on. Anything?
You want to talk about this intellectual property? I guess it's theft.
Yes. Yeah. Let's talk real quick, and then we'll get into some gear.
Yeah, because we got to talk about the Boss PX1. We will talk about the Boss.
Oh yeah, we're gonna knock.
That's
we're gonna
just-
knock,
that's
knock
just
the
been-
door down on the Boss.
That's just making everybody crazy this last week, and we got to weigh in, of course.
It's very polarizing.
Let's talk about this for a second. So basically, what's going on here with this
This is
intellectual
huge.
property theft
If
is
true.
that the international what is this acronym? International Music Publishing Trade Association, the ICMP, is alleging that they have proof that all the big tech companies have used copyrighted protected songs, music, everything to train their models, right? So Meta, Twitter has done this, Twitter X,
Google,
OpenAI,
Microsoft.
Google,
Yep.
basically all the big Microsoft, all the big players have done this. They claim that they have evidence to do this. It sounds like they're planning to bring suit against them, and
Yep.
and that's the way it
And
is.
this
So
article
we,
mentions
yeah,
some of the big names too. We're talking like Beatles,
oh yeah, everybody,
Beyonce, Bob Dylan, like
Bob
some big
Dylan, yeah.
names. So,
Um,
I mean, if true, I mean, this is obviously this is something that we anticipated was happening out there and will continue to happen. And this is probably the first suit of many, many in the future. But if true, I mean, this is pretty damning, right?
Yeah, they say they have extensive evidence of serious copyright infringement. Many of these companies are scraping the lyric data sets from the
Wow.
internet of millions of works and putting them into their models. And I would say, like, duh, of course they are. You know,
Of course they are.
I've said this a lot. We've talked about this on this we talked about it on this podcast
Many
when Jimmy
times.
Page brought it up. How and Jimmy Page was like, "This is wrong." Of course, it's wrong. They should
Was he on the
pay.
show?
Yeah, Jimmy Page was on the show.
You talk about it
Go
like
back,
when we
go
had
back
Jimmy
and
Page on
search
the show.
when we
Yeah.
discussed Jimmy Page's comments in the press about this is what we did. Yeah, Jimmy Page was on, guys. Yeah, I can't believe you
Yeah.
missed that episode. What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I obviously missed it.
you missed it too. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
Anyway, I mean, and we talked about it then, and I'll say it again. Yes, it's wrong. These companies should be paying the publishers, the artists, for this info to be able to go and grab this stuff and train the models. It absolutely is something that should be happening, and it should be another source of income for the publishers here. It just should be.
well, it's going to be very interesting because if you're talking about if they say they have evidence, let's see what the evidence is first because I think this is almost, and I'm certainly no legal expert, but it feels like this is very challenging to prove to be true, right? I mean,
Well, I think it's. I don't think it's all that hard to prove that it's true. I think in the U.S. it's not.
how
This.
not?
Well, because I think you can just prove, like, look, like it's pull. If I ask it about this song, it's be able to recreate it. It's able to pull what's going on in
But
the lyrics.
how does that prove that Google, Meta, Microsoft, all the others have actually like scraped these artists
I think you.
for that info,
I
right?
think you're right. I think. Well, I think you would have to. I think you're right. I think it's going to be a little bit complicated.
We need a tech expert on
We
this
need a tech
show. We
expert.
actually know two of them.
But I think there's got to be some way. There's got to be some way to prove that the model could only know certain things if it was trained on these songs, on these
I mean, is there
works.
like forensic evidence in the out there
Yeah,
that
yeah.
proves that this was done,
I
right?
think there
There must
probably
be.
is a way to prove that it was trained on these works. I think you can. There's got to be a way to do that. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what they're claiming as a definitive evidence here. It seems to be that this is not quite clear in U.S. copyright law with these, with these kind of models with this AI stuff. Seems like it's a little more clear in Europe because they have an AI Act that actually has protections on this. So
And we are just
um,
moving at a snail's pace in the U.S. in
in the
terms of putting
U.S.
up
we
like
are right,
guardrails
right,
and what have you to prevent some of this stuff from happening.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, this is only we are just scratching the surface in terms of music and AI and where this is all going to go.
yeah, yeah. It actually. So what happened is, I guess in March, a California judge did not ruled against a bid by UPMG to block an AI company from using their catalogs. So
Wow.
it isn't clear yet if it's infringement or fair use. This could be like a Supreme Court thing in the U.S.
You know what? This
At
is
some point
I was just going to
eventually.
say
Yeah,
I think this
yeah,
is going to make it to the Supreme Court because I can just see, let's see what the evidence is, see how this thing plays out in the lower courts.
right, right,
But if
right.
these
And we're
bigger
and
artists are being threatened by this, you better believe that their legal teams are going to be fighting for them, and you better believe the artists are going to be very outspoken about
Well,
this.
and some of these companies are giant companies that have deep pockets and
Giant
can fight,
companies.
right? And they
Yeah.
can fight. Do they have as deep pockets as OpenAI and Microsoft? No. So that's going to be the battle here, right? So I think it is going to be up to, we're not a political show, but it is going to be up to the Congress to come up with a law around this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you know how it works in the U.S. That's hard. That stuff is hard to come by.
And
There's a
they
lot of
should
special
listen.
interests. There's a lot of money involved. You just never know, and
We've
you're
talked
gonna,
about
we're not a political show, but you got to think,
no.
where's the money at? It's at Google, it's at Microsoft, and it's flowing heavily into OpenAI. You got to think things from Congress are probably going to lean to be on their side. But
No,
you
we
never
can
know.
and we
You
can
never know.
we can easily,
Yeah.
we could get off the rails talking about this and get into politics and all that, but I think, most of us in terms of how AI in music kind of, are threaded together, we don't want to see artists being threatened. We don't want to see their creativity being
No, we
stolen,
don't.
you
I
know,
think that's what I'm
but
saying here. That is
I
what
think
I'm
there
saying.
are and we've talked about there are applications for AI in music. You just don't want to see it get. It's like you don't want to see the snowball effect where, and I don't think it will. I think as AI becomes more, well, mainstream is not really the right word because it is mainstream, but as AI is more mainstream in music, I think you're going to see a lot of the creative types kind of get bored with it, and they're going to be able to kind of use their own brains, right? And
This
their
is
own
right.
creativity.
I think that's right. I don't think we said this a lot. I don't think we're going to lose the human element of music
No.
and art and creativity because of AI. I really don't believe that. Some people actually do believe that. I don't. But I do think this is like another disruption, just like Napster was, your roommate Dave in college.
Yep.
Um,
My roommate.
just your roommate. Well, you were there. You guys went to the same school. You were there when he was there.
I was there when he was
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Napster was a thing.
Dave's roommate,
I,
but this is
I
another
certainly didn't
disruption to
use
the
it.
industry. Yeah, of course we all use it. It was unbelievable, but this is a disruption that again the industry has to deal with. So
Yep.
it's going to be interesting. We're in. This is the time. These are the times we're in, guys. It's really exciting stuff. But anyway, I do want to address though. I don't know if you saw this post from Wampler Pedals um, today. I think it was Facebook, and they said like, well, wait a minute. If this is bad that AI is using models as using copyrighted songs to train their models, is it wrong that um, the companies that build like Line 6 and XFX and Neural DSP, is it wrong that they're using amps and emulating those in their amp models? And to that I say no, it's two totally separate things, because what those companies did is build an amp. It's a physical thing that makes a sound. They own the intellectual property around the
They own the
physical
property of
thing.
that.
They
Yes.
don't own the sound it makes, whereas these
No.
artists actually do own the sounds. It's
That's right.
copyrighted
Yeah.
material. They own the sounds themselves. So anyway, that's what I say to that. It was an interesting question posed by the folks over there in Wampler. So,
Yeah. It was. All right.
right,
Well,
what do you
let's.
think about that?
No, I agree. I mean, we're running a little bit low on time, so I don't want to go off on a tangent on this thing, but I totally agree with that. It's a different. I mean, there are parallels. I can definitely appreciate that, but
Yeah,
it's really at the end of the day, it's a different thing. So it's not like is Line 6 taking like you know a deluxe reverb and like almost like capturing that into their whatever they
they're capturing the
almost like
sound.
they're capturing the sound, but are they like are they but it's man, that's a blurry, that's
Yeah,
a
well, that's
real
why it's an
gray area
interesting
there,
question. And
right?
to that,
It
but
is.
to
Now I'm
that, I
thinking
say
out
no.
loud, but
I say no. It's not. It's a sound that's out there in the world. You don't. They don't own the sound that their amps output. They
right.
just don't. They don't.
Yeah, they don't. But
You
then
can
I
emulate that
guess
digitally. You could emulate it by just reverse engineering it. Everybody does that. That's perfectly legal. You can emulate all that stuff, right?
well,
So,
here's the slippery slope. But
oh,
also I'm gonna defend the modeling world
well, this is good. This
at
would
the
be a
same
good
time.
segue into the PX1.
Yeah. I'm going to defend the modeling world, but this is also a slippery slope, and I can understand why for those who like modelers. Um, you are, how do I say that? I really don't want to like tick people off, but so you're
Yes, you
let's
do.
take an artist here, like take the Beatles for example. So they're scraping lyrics and sounds and all these things, right? It maybe it's a different thing, but it almost reminds me of when an artist will try to argue that you ripped off that song, your song sounds a lot like mine and I wrote that. How
Oh,
many
of
chord
course.
progressions possibly exist,
Right,
right? So
right,
if you
right.
happen to have a song with the same chord progression and the same time and all that stuff, it's going to
Yeah.
maybe sound a little bit similar, right? So is it hidden enough in, let's say, you put out some AI generated music? Is it hidden enough that it was taken from the Beatles, some of the sounds, right? How do
I think
you,
you're making an interesting point. This is why I think it's
versus
such a
you're
gray
just writing a
area.
song with
Yeah.
you pull up your guitar and you
But
start
again,
writing your own song and it sounds like a Beatles song, right?
I've
It's kind
said
of a
this, but
great,
no, you're right. I've said this before, but this is a machine that is being fed raw material, and you
correct.
have to
No, I
pay for
understand
raw
that.
material. Like your brain is not a machine, right?
Okay,
Like
well,
your
did line
brain,
6 pay
yeah.
Fender to kind of take
Well,
their,
that's the well, I'm saying that argument is invalid because Fender doesn't own the tones that it creates. It owns the physical things that create the tone. It doesn't own the
okay, I'm
tone.
almost talking myself out of this argument. Do they not own the tones,
They don't
right?
own the
They
tone. They don't. They definitely don't. Does does
But their
do
amps
does do,
make the amps.
do record labels and publishers pay for a Fender for the tones on their albums? No. They buy they
No,
sell physical things. That's what business they're in.
correct.
They're not in the music kind of business. They're in this selling equipment kind of business, right?
Okay,
So
so
it's
you're an
totally
amp
different.
designer. You're an amp designer, and you come up with this new, this very unique sound of an amp, right? And you put it out there, and now all of a sudden it's being taken by, say,
But
Line
that
Six, just for
but
argument's
that's
sake,
happened
right?
over the years. But
Right.
with
It's happened over
Marshall,
the years.
that's happened with everybody emulates the Marshall. Everybody like we've made this argument again. We've talked
Emulate
about
emulation and like essentially feeding a tone and capturing that tone, is a bit of a,
again.
there's
They
a
don't own
line
the
there.
tone. They don't own the tone. They don't.
But don't they?
They own
But
the
don't
thing
they?
that makes the tone.
They own the thing that makes the tone, but in a way, they
Does
own the
is
tone because,
Gibson owed some like the sound that their guitars make? No, it's ridiculous. Does Gibson
yeah,
get
no, I know.
royalties for Guns N' Roses songs? No,
This is the
it's
slippery slope where
ridiculous.
you could argue, and I'm not arguing that, but
No,
you
I
could
would not argue
argue.
that. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's talk about this PX1 because
But wait a
we
minute,
are going
hold
to
on.
run out of time.
We're gonna run late on time, but let's hit this next week because I want to go. This is a very interesting topic, and I think if I want to just like let it marinate a little bit longer because I'm almost convincing myself that I don't agree with you. I don't
All
know.
right.
I
Come up
might be.
with better arguments and convince me
I'm gonna
otherwise.
give me a chance to
Yeah,
not in the moment
convince
to
me
think about what
otherwise.
I'm trying to say, and I'll say it next week.
But because this is the thing that Wampler raised, I think it's really interesting. I think it's
It is
interesting.
interesting.
But
Yeah.
I really believe like no, they sell things. They don't sell tone. Yes, they do sell tone, but they don't own the tone,
Well,
right?
you're saying that
I
John
know. So I
John
brought us
Lennon.
back in. I
Oh
shouldn't
man,
have.
you
I
brought
shouldn't
it
have
right
brought us
back
back
in.
in.
Anyway,
Let's
all right, let's
but
talk.
speaking of owning the tone, let's talk about
Speaking about
PX1 because this is lighting the gear world
this,
on fire in a bad way this
yeah,
last
and
week.
I'm just gonna
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna hit lead off here.
Yeah, go.
Um, I I just don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it because
You're like Tom Hanks from Big. I don't get it.
I I
It's a
I
building. No
think
one
they
wants to play with a building.
I think they really. I mean, we all at this point it's been out for a few weeks. Everybody knows what we're talking about, so we don't need to explain what the plug
Yeah,
out
if you don't
is.
know what the
But
PX1 is, the plug out,
yeah,
whatever it is.
whatever you want to call it. I think Boss really missed the mark and stopped way short of what this thing should have been. Now I get why, and I get they're trying to drag you into that ecosystem. The rolling sound cloud or what's the what's
Yeah,
their thing
I
called?
don't know
Yeah,
what the hell it's called.
but this thing is only coming with what 8 um loaded like pedals, so to speak, right?
Yes,
The Boss
so
lineup, and you can buy individually. You can buy up. Well, you can fit
no, no, no,
16
no,
on
no,
it.
no. It fits 16. It only
It
comes
fits
with
16, but it
8.
only comes with 8.
And then if you go and download the app, you can load on 8 more for free. Now for
But
free.
well, not for free because
No,
you
no,
have
that
to pay.
no,
You
no.
had
The
to.
the additional 8, I think, not that are available now are for free.
Are they?
But Boss has hinted at that there'll be other available for sale after in
I don't know
January
if.
is what they're hinting at.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that I don't know because I was under the impression that you
No,
had
no, no,
to.
no.
Your
No,
subscription
the
is
8 are
what?
free. The 8 are free.
Yes, yeah, the
Yeah.
8, but the additional
The additional
8 that you're
8 are
talking
free
about,
too, is what I
they are
understand. Yeah.
free.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So you're getting that for free, but the thing that's getting everybody, not everybody, but a few people, including Rhett Shull, because he released a video about this. The thing that's getting people upset is that it's setting itself up for a subscription type of a model,
Of course it is.
a pay per effect type of model, where that every time you plug this thing in, you're not going to be able to use it unless you continue to pay Boss, right?
Right,
It's
but
definitely like
this is
setting up that as a system similar to video games where you got to buy, you got to update it, you got to have it, you got to basically it's a software kind of a model in a video
that's a
game type of
different
a model.
demographic though. This isn't what Boss was going after. This is the Boss
Oh,
wasn't
I think a lot
presenting
of
a
people.
new
Yeah, I
They,
think a lot
Boss
of people
wasn't
believe it
presenting
is.
a new product. No, Boss wasn't presenting a new product to the Boss fan, like the Boss obsessed. I need to have all the pedals, the colors, and the completely Boss pedal board, that kind of thing. This was to me trying to capture those who were interested in the modeling world and all these we talked about just now.
But Boss makes a bunch of modelers. Why not just buy the
They
Boss
do
modeler? The
well
G,
input the
whatever it is,
input.
the 1000, whatever it's called.
Well, isn't that like don't they just have like a modulation modeler and reverbs and
No, no, no.
delays?
They
They don't
have
have like a.
full on modelers. They have like
What?
helixes. Yeah.
No, you're talking about which one? The Boss
The
the
Boss, I don't know the
which
model
no,
names
which
of
model
their
name were you just talking
modelers.
about? You were just about to say it, and that's why I said modulation because isn't that like a modulation? Oh, hold on. Keep talking. I'm gonna look this up.
I'm looking up to no. It's called like the what is there? Oh yeah, the GX, like the GX 1000.
The GX 1000. Yeah,
Yeah, the
no, I'm
GX
thinking
1000,
of.
the GX 10. Like these are full. These are competitors with HX Stomp, competitors with the Helix. This is what these things are. And so they have that already, right? So this is like basically like their version of like the HX1 in a very compact type of a like pedal format. You put it on your board. It's not like a standalone kind of
Well,
unit.
I
Yeah,
call this thing the HX.5 because they really missed the
exactly,
mark.
exactly. But what
This
what
thing is
gets
so limited.
well, yeah, but what gets people up in arms about it is that the fact. Like, here's the thing: if it fits 16 effects on it, why not just have it preloaded with 16 effects? Why do I have to go to an app and put 8 more on? And the
Because
answer is
that's not the game.
exactly
That's not the game.
and the answer is so they can turn around and charge you for more. They came out and said they were going to charge you $10 per effect. They said this, right? So what
Yes.
the Rhett Shull's point on this was this is dangerous because it's bringing in like the subscription kind of a model to these types of units, which we think
Where
which
yep.
doesn't exist right now. It exists in the plugin world. Actually, even in the plugin world, it doesn't really exist because you buy a plugin, you buy it
You
once,
buy a
and then
plugin,
it's
you buy it
done.
once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same with like a DAW. But in the software world, it's very common that you have a yearly subscription fee. So like everybody feels like when you do stuff like this, it's hinting that you're going to have a yearly fee or a monthly fee or something, and they can just do whatever they want with it because it's software. So and that's in contrast to what's going on with line 6 and even Axe
Yes,
Effects and all of them, where it's like you buy it,
completely opposite.
they
You buy it,
continue
you're
to
done.
support it. You buy it
Yep.
once, it's a big upfront cost. They continue to support. I mean, the line 6 thing is just
Yep.
unbelievable. They continue to put awesome new
Yep.
amps and effects and all kinds of cool stuff on this thing for absolutely free. And if line 6 went to a model that Boss is hinting at here, it would be devastating. I think they would lose a bunch of customers because people are like, what's crazy? I paid like $800 for this thing, whatever the HX Stomp is now, $700. I'm not going to, turn around and pay you even
Oh
more.
no, absolutely not.
But what's
I think
funny? I'll make it.
Boss.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
I
ahead,
don't
Rick,
know. I
go ahead.
think you might have you. Are you saying who's going to be pissed off? The Boss people, like the Boss
No,
fans,
no, no.
or
The
the line
consumers,
6?
the
Consumer of what?
consumers don't want. What I would say is I would agree with guys like Rhett and others that are saying this.
Well, I think you have to
Consumers,
separate them though, because there are people that are Boss obsessed, and then there's everybody else.
the thing is, like, do people want to get into a thing where you have to pay to just continue to get access to an effect that's on your like digital pedal? Like,
I
is that
don't think
interesting
so.
to you? Yeah,
No.
and that's what Boss is hinting at here, right? That's what they're
Oh
getting
no,
at,
no,
right?
they're not just
They haven't
hinting.
come
They're
out and
telling
said it.
you.
Well, no, they
They
haven't come
kind of
out and
have.
said that it's going to go to a
Mm,
yearly subscription. They just said you can buy it for $10, right? That they'll
They,
like,
they're
yeah,
they're just
right.
they haven't said the quiet parts out loud yet, but
And
they will.
this is what scares everybody. And they say like we as a guitar community have to reject this because this is what the video game companies have done to us, where every single thing in a video game is an upgrade, and you hit a button to pay for it, and you have to have a wallet with
Yep. Yep.
in your games. So they're saying like obviously this is a play to get into that kind of a world. And I can tell you, like, I'll bring the analog up with the golf stuff. So the golf have they have these launch simulators, right, where it tracks the your ball flight and tells you how far it goes. You understand these are advanced technology where, right, and now they have them at a consumer kind of a level. It used to be in the golf world to get that kind of technology was thousands and thousands of dollars. Now they have these units that can do all that for $1,000 as an example. But are they, in order to use all of the features in them, you have to pay a yearly subscription fee, sometimes
Yep.
hundreds of dollars. So in that industry, you're already there. You're buying a unit that does a thing, and then you have to
Yep.
buy to use the software that goes with it. You have to pay to use software that goes with it. If we get there in the guitar world, like that's terrible. Like that would be
No, it's not
a
gonna.
nightmare.
People aren't gonna put up with it. Number one, because there's no
Yeah.
value proposition there with this thing. I really don't think. I actually think I'm gonna predict that in a few months, Boss is gonna hear the criticism enough that there's gonna be major changes along with this because the consumer is going to speak. Boss has a massive fan base, right? So
Right.
once the consumer speaks, they will be heard. And I don't think, because who is this for, right? This isn't for the person, the Boss obsessed. This is
Well, well,
for who?
well. So I will say that I think it could be for the Boss obsessed because you know how there's these really hard to come by Boss pedals.
Well,
That,
okay,
that
so
are out
now you're
there,
talking a different thing. If they're going to
vintage
put
ones.
if
That's what they
they
have in there.
and
That's
what they
what's
have in there, right? So
Yeah.
that's where you're getting that's where you're tickling a little bit more of you're scratching
That's
more
what.
of an itch here.
Right.
That's if they continue to push the discontinued pedals, the discontinued sounds that are
The
out there,
vintage
right?
stuff.
The
Right.
vintage stuff. That's a finite amount of stuff, right? It's only going to go so far. That's where you can capture some people, no pun intended. But
Right.
for the average Boss consumer, or like who buys Boss pedals? People that are obsessed with Boss, and a lot of newer players, because let's face it,
Because
they're
they're cheap.
affordable.
Yeah, they're cheap,
They're
and they're really
affordable.
good, and they're real
They're
good.
indestructible, and they're fantastic.
They're really
Right?
good. I mean, yeah.
If you go
Right.
into a guitar store and you're buying your first guitar, and you're also going to pick up your first pedal, what are they going to recommend? They're probably going to
Probably
bring
a
you over
Boss.
to probably a Boss, right?
Right.
That is not this pedal. So
No, it's
who is
definitely not.
I asked the
Yeah.
question, who is it for?
And the fact that it's 16 effects only when you can get an HX1 that has a lot more, right?
Yeah.
Actually, how much does HX1 even have? A lot more, right?
HX1, we talked about this. How many
What does AI say?
Effects.
It's a lot,
HX1.
and it's similar price.
250,
Yeah, so there's
similar price.
250, and it's like I think this plug out is $250, and the HX1 is
249.
$299. And there's other pedals that have like multi effects in them and a pedal size thing, and like in a pedal board size thing. So like I agree. Like I don't think this sits well in the market. I think it's setting up a model that people don't want. And actually, I will shout out because a
Right.
couple of our listeners in
Yeah,
the
was
comments
this
today,
wanted? Was this like
I
were people
don't
requesting
know.
this kind of thing?
I mean, maybe because if you can easily store a few like kind of like you said, like older kind of I guess like discontinued effects that are hard to come by, you can put them on this, and that's a way to have a few of them on the board at the same time. But Colin from Science Aloud, he put out a video really blasting this and accusing Boss of going down this road of psychological manipulation, which he's right. The way that video game companies have done with kids and adults and everybody, and the way the casinos do, the way that the online sports betting apps do. Like this is like stuff that conditions people to spend
Well, yeah,
more and more and more.
exactly.
And
you're
you could argue
manipulating
like,
addiction.
right? And maybe you could argue like he's going overboard on that. But when you think about it, I think he's got a good take. I think Colin's got a good take there. I think it's a good
I think that's
point
pretty accurate
to say that it could go if you're like, oh, well, Boss came out with a new pedal and on this plug out effects, and I can just go to the app and pay $10 to get it, and they keep putting out. I mean, think about how many pedals they have, Dave. I mean, they get gazillions of them, right? So it's like like it could get to be an addictive thing for people.
Oh yeah, especially and they're going to be, of course, like around holiday times that are coming up.
Right.
There's going to be sales on these kinds of things right in the future, and it's going to be bundles and all this kind of stuff. It can be very addictive.
And then the idea that and then the idea that Rhett kind of adds onto it to say, well, that's one thing, but then what if you don't even own it and you're just like paying, and you have to pay a yearly fee or a monthly fee just to have access to it? What about that? Right. So it's like then it gets really out of control. Right. So
all right, one more piece of this, because I do agree with this statement, and I forget who made it, but I've listened to a lot of like podcasts and seen a lot of videos since the thing came out.
I know.
It's like, and I think a lot of people actually have said this now that I think about it, but it's about like when you have a physical thing that doesn't need to be updated, that just sits there and lasts, especially a Boss pedal, that you'll never not have it, right?
Right.
So versus a piece of computer technology or a download or something that, like you said, Line 6, how long are they going to support the HX Stomp, for example, right?
That's a big question now. You're right about
now they got as they grow and they develop new technology and they develop new model.
I mean, this is what Apple does, Dave. Right? This is exactly why Apple is one of the largest, most valuable companies in the world, is because it's the planned obsolescence of the iPhone.
That's right.
Right. Like it's just what it is.
And they'll tell you. They tell you. They've made the statement. We designed the iPhone to die.
Basically, they do as the things get more advanced. And that will happen with Line 6. But you can't say that like, I think Line 6 is going to do right by people, and they're not just going to discontinue it, in a year from now because the Stadium gets more and more popular. I don't think that's going to happen with Line 6. I actually do have some trust in Line 6 just because I know their product and their product.
Well, it's similar. Yeah. The products, the Stadium versus like the HX Stomp, that it's kind of the same technology,
it's going to take a long time,
right? Yeah,
before they get out of that. So I think Line 6 will do right by its customers, but I think you're right. This digital technology, eventually there'll be a new and greater thing. We know it to be true now at Line 6, and eventually they will stop supporting it. So that is going to happen, and we just have to come to grips with that, right? It's an argument for an amp.
Well, we are going to continue this talk and much, much more over on Patreon in a little bit. So come join us over there. If you want to support the show, please do so by going to patreon.com/guitardadspodcast. We would greatly appreciate that. And if you can't support through Patreon, please, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff really helps the show.
Tell your guitar friends.
Tell your friends, or if you like your friends, don't tell them.
Keep
At
it a
Guitar
secret.
Dads
Leave it between us.
podcast on on X Threads, Instagram. Come join the Facebook group, all that stuff. We appreciate you guys for checking us out for another episode of the Guitar Dads podcast.
That's it. Keep rock alive. Catch you on the flip.